I'm leaning like a fucking kickstand. Mixing my feet, yeah, you know I just bought them. Hope you act fool when I say sorry. The only concern is to make sure my diamonds don't hurt my body. But what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Woe24, and as you know, I bring some of the hottest reactions to the flow. Man, Memphis is on fire right now. Everybody's going at it with everybody. Now, I don't know too much about what's exactly going on, but I know it's some things that happened a couple years ago to a popular music artist. Rest in peace to that man. It was some things that happened to that man, Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke. And it's just a lot of different stuff that's going around where a lot of those artists are actually falling off, and a lot of those artists are turning their backs on each other. So let's just watch the footage and find out what's going on. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so, because as you know, they took my old channel and they not giving it back. I was at like 280,000 views total, which is okay. YouTube, don't do that again.
Artist who is just acting a fool, doing all the craziest shit, pulling up to people's neighborhoods. Yo Gotti just sparked a serious storm in Memphis with his own crew, and right now the whole hip-hop scene is tense. Behind the flashy success of the CMG empire, there's been pressure building for a while, and now it's finally blown up into something that could ruin relationships and shake up the game. The real story behind the chaos inside one of Memphis's most powerful squads is deeper and messier than anyone thought, and it's time to break it all down. What's really going on? This isn't just industry gossip. It's a story of loyalty, betrayal, and how fast things can fall apart when pride, money, and old drama mix together. Before we dive deeper, let's get one thing straight. Social media has been going wild with talk about why Blacc Youngsta suddenly removed CMG from his bio and said he's independent. But we're here to sort out what's real and what's just rumors, because this whole situation goes way beyond a simple label disagreement. Just a few days back, the entire CMG circle felt the shakeup. It is kind of crazy to look back on it and think that you have Yo Gotti, who's traditionally always been pretty tight-lipped, pretty quiet about beef and everything, and then all of a sudden he's got this new artist who is just acting a fool, doing all the craziest shit, pulling up to people's neighborhoods, making Instagram videos, etc. All this stuff that you don't see anybody associated with CMG doing that stuff. You don't really see a lot of rappers besides, like, you know, more
And see, that's one of the things. He just got signed to Gotti. Now he's trying to make a name for himself any way he can. Just like I was saying in the last video, all attention is not good attention. Negative attention can get you some very, very negative results. Even if you think you being seen. Yeah, you being seen, but not all by positive eyes. So you gotta be careful who you mess with and what you get into, because a lot of things can happen in these streets when it comes to beef, and I don't think it's worth it most of the time unless somebody does something to your family members, or when it comes down to money, yeah. But when it comes down to females and stuff, few and far between.
Guys doing that type of shit in general these days, just because I think people are a little bit more aware of how much the cops are watching them on social media and everything. But
Blacc Youngsta, the artist who once stood by Yo Gotti more than anyone, the same one who was front and center during the whole Young Dolph situation, suddenly declared his independence and dropped some bold posts that had everyone talking. This lively Memphis rapper started sharing mysterious messages online, and the streets couldn't stop speculating. Yo Gotti's reaction? It only made people talk even more. That's when things really started heating up. But hold on, don't think this is just another artist walking away from a record label, because it's way more personal than that. We're talking about two guys who used to be like brothers, built an empire side by side, faced rivals together, and shared the same spotlight. But here's where it gets wild. When the one thing uniting the crew disappears, sometimes the team starts to break apart from the inside. Every year, Blacc Youngsta goes viral for the same move, taking CMG out of his bio and saying he's independent. Last year, he pulled the same stunt just a week before Yo Gotti's birthday, but still showed up to celebrate like nothing ever happened. But this time, this time hits totally different. The energy feels colder, sharper, and the posts he's been dropping aren't just about leaving a label. They're about respect, loyalty, and calling out fake energy. Blacc Youngsta went online and dropped a fiery message saying, "Play with me and I'll take away everything that came out your mama. I swear to God, all my brothers dead, so why not the house gonna send this upside down about me, dead or alive, but I stand on my own 10. That's why I'm respectful and respected everywhere I go." That's some serious intensity right there.
Hold on, Blacc Youngsta respectful everywhere he goes. I remember he said, "Whore, you fucking bitch," coming out the bank with $200,000, calling the employees whores, and he don't want to talk today, and all that little weird shit that he used to do online. Now all of a sudden you're respectful? Nah, man. We ain't gonna do that. Nah, you keep that one. Hold that, Blacc Youngsta. We don't need that one.
Basically saying he's standing firm no matter what comes his way because he's already lost too much to back down now. But here's the twist. This whole thing goes way deeper than one artist venting online. Not long after that post, Blacc Youngsta dropped another message that looked straight up directed at Yo Gotti, and that's when everybody knew this wasn't just tension, it was personal. He said, "These dudes CB4 and they still misleading the youth like they some type of mob bosses. Bro, I'm going to bed right now and it's 11 a.m. I'm sick of these dudes and I'm gonna lead by example." Now, in the hip-hop world, being called CB4 is one of the biggest disses you can throw. For anyone who doesn't know, CB4 was a comedy movie about fake rappers pretending to live a street lifestyle. So when Blacc Youngsta said that, he was basically calling out Yo Gotti for pretending, for playing the...
I ain't gonna lie, I was just gonna say, what the hell is CB4? That gotta be some Memphis stuff, cause I'm from LA. I stay out of LA though. I don't live in California no more. But yeah, man, I didn't know what that meant. But thank you for clarifying that.
Part of a mob boss without really living that life. But here's what makes that hit even harder. Yo Gotti's whole image, his entire brand has always revolved around that mob boss look. His stage name, Yo Gotti, comes from John Gotti, the well-known Italian figure from the Gambino family. Over the years, Yo Gotti has said in interviews and lyrics that he's been inspired by real-life power figures and their business mindset. So when Blacc Youngsta said that, he was going straight for the core of Yo Gotti's image, his identity, his brand. That's a direct hit that cuts deep. Then came the post that had everyone shocked. Youngsta wrote, "I blame the fake OGs, the fake big homies, the fake big brothers, the fake CEOs, the fake teachers, the fake people in your life not telling you right from wrong." All those titles. At one point in his career, Blacc Youngsta used those same words, OG, big homie, big brother, CEO, to describe Yo Gotti himself. So there's no guessing who that message was aimed at. It was loud, clear, and full of emotion, and the entire hip-hop scene felt the tension explode after that. Here's where things get really interesting. Yo Gotti didn't stay silent. Nah, he fired back in a smart and strategic way. He dropped 3 pictures of himself with the caption, "Nothing bigger, unbreakable," and played Jay-Z's Dynasty intro. And for anyone who hasn't been following, nothing Gotti posts is ever random. Every move he makes, even on Instagram, is part of a bigger message. That track he played, it wasn't just background music. It was chosen with purpose. One line in that song says, "Theme song to The Sopranos, playing the key of life on my mental piano." Now, The Sopranos is all about power, loyalty, and survival in a dangerous world. And Jay-Z comparing himself to that theme hits hard. It's Gotti's way of answering Blacc Youngsta, calling him CB4 and saying he's pretending to be a boss. Gotti's basically saying, "Yeah, I am that, and I'm unbreakable." But the real punch comes from another lyric in that same song where Jay-Z says,
He ain't unbreakable. All he gotta do is spill the beans on who done that to Jik and who done that. Well, we can't say who done that to Dolph, because Blacc Youngsta's gonna get arrested on that. Remember this video. He is definitely gonna get arrested on that, and that's what this all revolves around. Yo Gotti's trying to separate himself from that situation because he probably didn't give them no insight to go do that to Dolph. They probably did their own thing, put their own money up, and he heard about it on the streets, then heard about it in real life like everybody else. So he's like, nah, man, I don't want none of that credit for that debit. You get what I'm saying? So he's trying to get out the way, which is totally understandable.
slap whoever stand between Sean and Figures. That line sent everyone into a frenzy. Gotti seemed to be saying that nothing and no one will come between him and his business. The message, he's protecting what he built, no matter what it takes. Now, this doesn't mean anything extreme. It's more about mindset and determination, but it definitely shows where Gotti's head is at right now. Focused, defensive, and ready to protect his empire at all costs. The real mystery everyone's trying to figure out is what actually triggered all this right now. For years, Yo Gotti and Blacc Youngsta stood side by side through every challenge. So for things to reach this level, something serious must have gone down behind closed doors. People close to the scene say money, power, and pride might have all played a part, but nobody's confirming the full story yet. Some fans believe it started with business moves inside CMG. Blacc Youngsta had been quiet for months, while Yo Gotti focused on other artists like Glorilla and Moneybagg Yo. Maybe Youngsta felt overlooked or pushed aside, especially after being...
And that could be a thing too, because he was a big figure and a big pusher of CMG and Heavy Camp, which was his own label, so of course he had to push that. But CMG, he was like the face of that label for a real long time. So when Gotti started getting more money and was able to put more artists on and ready to give them this bag and found out that there's more talent out here, Blacc Youngsta probably got a little bit jealous. You get what I'm saying? Overzealous, a little bit jealous. You get what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things where that does happen as well. So I ain't discounting that at all, y'all.
One of the first names that helped build CMG's foundation. Others say it's not even about business, it's about respect and how loyalty can start to fade when success comes into play. Then came more clues on social media that made everything even tenser. Blacc Youngsta liked a few posts that hinted at standing alone and cutting off fake energy, while Gotti kept posting luxury shots with captions like, "The table's already full." The messages might seem small, but in the music world, they speak volumes. Now, insiders are whispering that mutual friends and business partners are trying to calm things down behind the scenes before it gets worse, especially when Memphis has been shining so bright in the hip-hop spotlight lately.
Still, both sides seem to be standing firm. Neither Gotti nor Youngsta has backed down publicly, and fans are waiting to see what happens next. Will they settle it like family and move forward, or is this the final break in one of Memphis's most powerful alliances? And the real turning point might actually connect back to the Young Dolph situation. Recently, Hernandez Govan, the man prosecutors once accused of organizing Dolph's tragic killing, was found not guilty in court and walked free. That verdict completely changed the tone in Memphis, shaking up how people viewed everything surrounding that case. Now here's where it gets heavy. Blacc Youngsta was always one of the most outspoken artists when it came to Young Dolph. Even after Dolph's passing, he performed Shake Some at a Dallas club and later filmed a music video in what looked like a cemetery, standing near a tombstone with the name Thornton, which happens to be Dolph's real last name. That moment sparked massive backlash online, but Youngsta stood by.
He said it before I did, but I was gonna say that too. Blacc Youngsta started dropping them hints and all that stuff about what happened to Dolph, and Gotti was like, bro, we're not doing that in this label. And he was probably like, man, well, it's already put out. He's like, man, well, you gotta take that down. He's like, man, I just got all this money off this music video. It just did 66 million views, and I don't care how much views that video's doing, that shit needs to come down. And they had a dispute over that video because that video is pretty incriminating considering your guys' history of volatile situations and bad shots at each other. So, yeah.
His actions. He later said, "I'm the type of dude who ain't never sat back and looked for nobody to feel sorry for me. I come from the heart of South Memphis where you get no sympathy." That statement said a lot about how he views life and loyalty. It's all about standing strong no matter what. But from the outside looking in, many people say that's when the tension between Youngsta and Yo Gotti started to really grow. Word is, Gotti and the CMG team didn't want Youngsta continuing to mention Dolph after his death, mainly because of how much love the city still had for him. Keeping the peace was better for both the label and Memphis's reputation as a whole. At that time, CMG's name was already being brought up in the court discussions, and Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, was even questioned by by investigators, though he was never charged. So when Youngsta dropped that controversial video, it made things uncomfortable for everyone at CMG. Once that common rival disappears, it's not unusual for the crew to start turning on each other. And in this case, that person was Young Dolph. Now that he's gone, a lot of people think that same energy is what's causing tension between Blacc Youngsta and Yo Gotti today. We saw hints of this division during the court trial when Cornelius Smith, one of the men accused in the Dolph case, took the stand as a key witness for prosecutors. During testimony, he claimed that Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, was allegedly involved in putting money on the situation. Whether that's true or not, the moment created serious drama and brought questions about loyalty and
There it is. Remember when I said Dolph got done and then Juke got done up too? Juke was the one who put all that together. That's why they will never find out who done it. And even if they do, the man whose counsels used to send the money, withdraw the money, and use the money, he's now deceased. And they did that on purpose. So none of them can face any charges for it. Trust me. It's something different than what we would think it is. And this is just my brain speculating. This is not a factual thing. But from the looks of it, and from some videos that they deleted off of YouTube of Juke going at it with Yo Gotti, actually cussing him out, calling him wannabe little big brother, and all this other stuff, and calling him a secondhand snake. These videos were all readily available. Damn, why can't I speak? But yeah, they were since deleted. They were old streams of Juke talking down on Yo Gotti, and even the mom said him and Juke didn't get along like that. But other than that, let's keep rolling this footage because I knew that was gonna come up.
trust inside the circle. This whole thing isn't just about two rappers clashing. It's about power, control, and what happens when an artist feels like their voice is being limited. Years back, Youngsta even admitted in an interview that he and Gotti didn't always see eye to eye. He said they often bumped heads because Gotti wanted things done a certain way, while Youngsta had his own fast-paced, unpredictable style. Youngsta even dropped a project called Young and Reckless under CMG, and that title alone says a lot about his attitude and how he saw himself compared to Gotti's more polished image. It was like a silent message: I'm my own man, no matter who's in charge. But now, fans are worried about where this tension could lead. Hopefully, both sides can find a way to keep things peaceful and move smart, because Memphis doesn't need another split inside one of its most powerful movements. Yo Gotti is known for being strategic and well-connected. He moves carefully, almost like a business
executive. Why they got Britney Spears hanging out the
Youngsta
car?
has always been passionate, outspoken, and fearless. If they can't find common ground, the fallout could get messy for everyone involved. Blacc Youngsta might want to move carefully right now, because Yo Gotti is operating on a completely different level in his career. He's not just connected in the streets, his reach goes beyond that. Gotti has influence, major connections, and the kind of business power that makes people listen when he speaks. When you're dealing with someone that established, every move has to be made with strategy. A lot of people in Memphis are saying this situation feels eerily similar to what went down years ago between Gotti and Young Dolph. Let's rewind for a second. Back in 2012, when Young Dolph was building serious momentum in the city, he revealed that Gotti reached out to offer him a record deal with CMG. But according to Dolph, he turned it down, and that's when things started getting tense between them. Dolph once said that during Gotti's pitch, he dissed his own artists by comparing them to Dolph, claiming Dolph was different. To Dolph, that felt disrespectful, not just to him, but to Gotti's whole team. It rubbed him the wrong way and made him feel like the offer wasn't genuine. That moment marked the beginning of a long and complicated rivalry. Fast forward to now, and it's hard not to notice some of the same patterns showing up with Blacc Youngsta. He's been posting messages about fake love, fake loyalty, and people pretending for too long. One of his posts read, "I'm cool with standing alone. I'm cool with the fact that I've trusted the wrong people a few times. I wash my hands. No more making it look good. We either cool or we not." That sounds like a man who gave his all to a team and now feels like that same loyalty wasn't returned. When someone feels that kind of betrayal, especially after losing so many close friends and family members, they start moving with a whole different kind of mindset. It's not about revenge, it's about having nothing left to fear. And when someone reaches that point, every decision they make carries real weight. But this whole situation goes deeper than just Yo Gotti and Blacc Youngsta. It's about loyalty, respect, and how power can shift when trust starts breaking apart. It's about what happens when business, money, and egos collide, and how fast that can turn brothers into rivals. The music game is full of moments like this, where what starts as family ends up as competition once success, pride, and outside voices start interfering. Now, let's be real. The city of Memphis has already faced enough heartbreak. The losses of artists and key figures have left deep scars in the culture. The community doesn't want to see more negativity come out of this. Everyone's hoping this energy turns into growth, not more destruction. For Yo Gotti, this is a major test of leadership. Will he step up, calm things down, and bring peace back to CMG's circle? Or will he let the tension keep growing and risk the empire he's worked years to build? For Blacc Youngsta, this is about defining his legacy. Does he want to be remembered as the artist who always stood on principle and stayed loyal, or as someone who let frustration break the bond that helped shape his success? Because let's be honest, when tension in Memphis reaches this level, it rarely fades quietly. History has shown it over and over. Every move, every post, every lyric can shift the energy in a major way, and that's why everyone's paying such close attention to what happens next between Yogi and Blacc Youngsta. So what do you think about this situation? Can they find a way to fix things and bring peace back to CMG, or is it already gone too far to repair? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I really want to know how you feel about it. And hey, if you've been following this drama and want the latest updates on what's going on behind the scenes, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single detail. We're breaking down all the stories, all the reactions, and all the hidden meanings behind what's really happening in Memphis right now. Remember, loyalty matters, but knowing when to step back and protect your peace matters just as much. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is walking away before things spiral out of control. Peace over pride is the real win every time. Stay safe, stay smart, and we'll catch you in the next one, because this story, it's still unfolding, and the next chapter could drop any minute.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, man, when Blacc Youngsta dropped that music video, Yo Gotti called him and was probably like, we didn't even have nothing to do with that. This is another scenario. So why are you making us look like we done something that we didn't have nothing to do with? You're just making the label hot and gonna make the police and the streets look at us, and we ain't the ones that did none of that. We ain't the ones that put up none of that. So why are you doing that? He wanted that video to come down. But let me know what you think in the comments, man. It's your boy Woe24. As you know, I bring the hottest reactions to the flow. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so. You know.